The best technique for you to learn grammar is speaking to yourself, and I'm going to tell you why in this video, because this is a technique that regardless of the language and regardless of what you're learning, be it vocabulary or writing or reading or anything, this is a technique that I talk about all the time in my videos. And in my courses and in my sessions. And the reason why I'm always talking about it and the reason why I'm making this video about learning grammar through speaking is because not many people do it. And I want you to do it because the reason why some people are really successful at learning languages and they are fluent and advanced and they reach their C2 levels or C1 levels or whatever level you're aiming for, the difference is that they probably speak to themselves and they do it a lot and they do it consistently and regularly. And the people who find grammar difficult and complicated and they view learning it as a chore or as a struggle might not have found the best technique for them, because grammar, yes, it's difficult. Regardless of the language, it is difficult. Some grammars are easier than others, and yes, Polish, I'm looking at you. But regardless of that, you can still learn in the most effective way, and that is through saying things out loud and speaking to yourself and using grammar in context while speaking. And if you are a learner of English and you want to get from the intermediate level to the advanced level through learning grammar, check out my Advanced Grammar University course. I'll be talking about it more later in the video, and this video is sponsored by Advanced Grammar University. And in my years of studying and learning languages, and in my BA and MA programs in linguistics, and then in my practice as a language mentor, I realized that this is the #1 technique that people and learners and students can use to make progress way faster and way more effectively. And the reason why it works is because speaking activates so many areas of your brain, but we're used to learning grammar in a passive way. What comes to your mind when you think of learning grammar? Exercises, grammar books, course books. Yeah, and they are great. I mean, they're great. But if you don't do them properly, if you don't do them in the most effective way, you will still struggle. And I mean that because I know from my experience when I was learning French, when I was only filling in the gaps in the course books, when I was only doing the online exercises, grammar exercises, these structures haven't stuck. Like, they haven't stuck in my brain because I don't use them. And the only thing I remember from those exercises is the blank space that I was supposed to fill. And let me know in the comments if that sounds way too relatable for you. But there's a reason why we don't remember grammar structures if we only learn grammar in this way. And that is because it's a passive way of learning. Yes, you fill in the gaps, but what happens next? You go to the next exercise and the next example, and that's it. Like, you finish, and then what? It's done. Hey, did you learn any grammar? Maybe, because I love it. Like, I love doing grammar exercises, but this is not the only thing that I do. And the way to use their full potential and also do other things that will help you learn grammar is saying things out loud, speaking to yourself, reading things out loud. Because like I said, doing the exercises and doing all of the traditional ways of learning grammar are very passive. So we want to move it into our active memory, our active knowledge of this language, because then if it's active, it's going to be more accessible and we're going to remember more and use it more. So let's choose an example. Let's say you have a course book and it has grammar exercises in them. Well, the first thing to do would be to read the grammar explanation part, if there is any. And you can do it by reading it quietly to yourself in your brain, or you can read it out loud. And if you just start doing that, reading things out loud, even if there's no exercise for you to do, just grammar explanation, do it. Do it. So then you have the grammar exercises. You fill in the gaps, you answer the questions, you go yes or no, you know the drill. Read every single thing out loud. When you doubt your answer, or you don't know if the answer that you actually provided makes sense, and you have this internal dialogue inside your head about, oh, I don't know if this is a correct answer, say it out loud. Like, talk about it to yourself. Like, have a conversation out loud. Whatever your level is, do whatever you can to just talk about the process with yourself, then read the examples out loud. If you have an exercise when you're asked to produce your own sentence, create it, then read it out loud, but don't stop there. Create a new sentence that you're not asked to create and maybe make it a bit more personal. For instance, if the sentence is, John tried a new vegan dish, and you know a person who's vegan, or maybe you're vegan, you can say, I tried a new vegan dish, and just make it a bit more personal when it fits your life, when it's actually something that is true about you. So don't only use the sentence that you are provided or the sentence structure that you're supposed to follow, but create a new sentence out of that. Then, if you're asked to, I don't know, write a story or do some follow-up exercises, do them all out loud. Yes, write in your notebook. Yes, write in your course book, but do all of that and then read everything and go back to these exercises and read them aloud. And then when you're done, try to talk about something that you've learned in that language to yourself. Like if you learned, let's say you learned about wishes and had better and would rather, just create a story where you would talk about something that happened to you, or maybe your personal regrets, like you had better, I would rather, or maybe I wish I had done something. Like you can use these particular structures to talk about something that you regret doing or not having done. So you can talk about it and use your life as examples and just talk about it to yourself, speak to yourself using the structures that you've just learned. So the reason why active learning and active memory works so well, and the reason why you should use it to your advantage, is because then when you have real life conversations, you don't get stuck in your head. Like you don't think about all of the tenses that are just, whirling in your head, or or all of the conjugations or declensions that you were supposed to practice. You actually use them in a conversation with yourself, which means that when you think about it, your brain isn't only going to have the evidence from the exercises that you did and then forgot about. It's going to have more to work with. It's going to have the exercises and your speech. And let me tell you why it's so important. Saying things out loud really does wonders to your learning process. Like I said, when you just do things passively, you reinforce the memory trace in your brain, but it's only like a memory. You don't activate new ways of using this grammar. It's only like, yes, I read about it. Yes, I did this exercise. Yes, I maybe remember that. But when you speak to yourself, you create new habits, new neurological pathways, new ways of using the language, and your brain is gonna love that. Our brains love to learn. Maybe you don't feel this way about learning anything, but our brains love to learn. We're so good at learning new things, and our brains love themselves. They love it when we talk about ourselves and when we listen about ourselves. Okay, so let's work with this example. You are working on wishes in English and you're saying something like, I wish I'd learned more French at school, because you didn't, but you wish you had. So you have this exercise and you're saying, I wish I'd learned more French at school. When you do that, you are reading the words in front of you. So your brain is recognizing the words. Then you are saying it out loud, and here's where the magic happens. Your speech muscles are working in a new way. Maybe they're not used to producing this particular string of words or sequence of sounds. Maybe this is the first time for them to say things like this. That's amazing. Train them, practice with them. Then, when you say this out loud, I wish I'd learned more French at school, you hear yourself. And this is amazing. Like I said, our brains love themselves. They love it when we talk about ourselves. This is amazing for your brain because it listens to your voice. And we remember the things that we said better than the things that people said to us. Let me know if this is something that you find is true as well. And when you listen to the things that you say, you have so many ways in which your brain is soaking in this information. It sees it in front of its eyes, your eyes. It trains your speech muscles and your voice is producing those sounds. So this is 2 or 3 ways of learning right now. Then it hears itself. I mean, it hears you, you hear yourself. So number 4, you listen, you hear yourself. And then thanks to all of those ways combined, this is not only doing an exercise and seeing it and having it in your passive memory, all of that is stored in your active memory. And then think about it. When you speak to someone and you have a real life conversation, your brain remembers all of that. Maybe not at first, but you created these new connections in your brain when it comes to language learning. Your brain already knows that you saw this structure, that you used this structure in speech, that your voice said it. It heard its voice. I mean, you heard your own voice. I get confused when I talk about brains and ourselves, but you heard your voice. And for your brain, it's 4 times more information when it comes to the grammar structure that you are learning. Isn't that incredible? Isn't it truly remarkable about our brains that we can just boost our progress and skyrocket our progress when it comes to learning grammar and create so many new connections and pathways for our brains to remember what we learned better? And yes, I know it's effort. And I know it takes time, and I know it might be uncomfortable at first when you just see all of those exercises and you're like, yeah, Laura said I should be reading it out loud. But trust me when I say, and this is something that I've learned in years of practice as a language mentor, as a linguist, and as a course creator. This is what separates successful language learners from people who struggle with grammar. And I am living proof of that. I am not a native speaker of English. I am a learner of so many other languages. And the way for me to learn grammar is through speaking to yourself. And I have good news for you. No matter how long you've been learning any language, no matter how advanced or no matter what your level is, you can start doing it today. Like, you can start implementing this technique today, and you will see the results. Trust me, you will see the results. My students tell me that after a week, they are just still so uncomfortable, but then after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, after 3 months, they see the change, they see the progress. And I can hear it when I speak with them, because I can hear that they use all of these advanced English structures and that they are just comfortable while using them. And as a language mentor, this is the best compliment that I can get. And this is a true testimony to the way I work and the way this technique works. This works, but it only works when you work it. And you have to do it consistently. You have to do it every single day. If you can't, do it every other day. But trust me, when you are consistent with it, and when you find a way to make it more personal to you, more fun and more enjoyable, you will see the results. And this is the way my Advanced Grammar University works, because this course is like Netflix, but for your grammar. Like, you can go to every single module, just choose a video that you want to watch and listen to. And I always encourage you to listen and repeat after me. Oh yeah, this is, I almost forgot, this is an extra bonus tip. If you're listening to someone explain some concept to you, pause the recording, pause the video, and repeat after them, and then create a new sentence that is going to be true for you. So let's say you're in Advanced Grammar University, why not? And you're in Module 8 and you're learning about inversions, and I'm saying things like, under no circumstances can you read this letter. And you're like, oh, okay, this is inversion in English, cool. You pause the video and you repeat after me and you say, under no circumstances can you read that letter, and then create a new sentence with that pattern. For instance, under no circumstances can you see her again. Dramatic, I know. But this is how it works when you listen to someone or you watch someone explain something to you when it comes to grammar. Pause the video, repeat after the person, repeat after me, and then create a new sentence and click play. And this is how my Advanced Grammar University is structured, because it has 12 modules and it has 150 videos inside those 12 modules, and every single video is dedicated to a grammar concept that you can watch over and over again. You can repeat after me as many times as you want, and then you learn by doing all of those things. So listening, watching, repeating, saying things to yourself, then you go to the exercises, you do the exercises, you read them out loud, and you practice in all of those ways, and then you can go to bonus trainings to learn how you can learn even better, even faster, and even more effectively. And that's why I love this course so much, because I structured it in a way that will be the most intuitive and in a way that will help all of the intermediate learners get to the advanced level in English. So if you are a learner of English and you want to learn with me, your favorite YouTuber who just loves grammar, like I wrote my dissertation and my MA thesis at my English and Linguistics Studies on grammar, like specifically on the ways in which different languages utilize specific grammar concepts. Like, I'm a linguist, but I'm also a grammar nerd. And I love that. I love talking about grammar and sharing about grammar. And I'm super, super excited. I'll see you in the course. The link is in the description. And let me know in the comments if this video unlocked something for you when it comes to learning grammar, regardless of the language, regardless of the level. When you say things out loud, when you speak to yourself, trust me, you will see the progress. I can keep you accountable. Like, you can post in the comment the languages you're learning, and you can go back next week and then the week after that and let me know if speaking to yourself actually helped you. Like, we can create an accountability group here in the comments. How cool would that be? Oh my God, do it. Let's do it. So I'll be there in the comments, cheering you on, helping you out. And if you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I make videos like this about learning languages, but also about minimalism, traveling, veganism, lifestyle design. So if you enjoyed this video, click subscribe and click the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to see more of my daily life. I just got an email from a client saying that she's so impressed with my podcast. By the way, I have a podcast now. The link is in the description. It's bilingual. I speak in Polish and in English there, so check it out. But I just got an email. I just checked my phone and I got an email from a client saying that she's listening to my podcast and that she's impressed. Oh, that's so cool. By the way, if I'm super hyper in this video, it's because I love grammar. I truly, truly, truly love grammar. Check out Advanced Grammar University, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. Happy learning.